Zong-Yuan is pretty solid player, and he knows what's going on. He calculates very well. So e6 is a seems to be a solid move, but according to Houdini, it gives a slight advantage to white, and bishop f4 seemed to be the move that white preferred. Although I'd be very surprised if anyone finds bishop e5 really. So that's still quite happened. Rook c1. Yeah, this looked to me like a good move at the time. I thought, yeah, this makes sense because we have the rook on f1 going to c1. It's lined up against the queen, and it's going to cause problems. And to be honest, I thought queen a5 would be black's choice during the game. So I just want to see what would have happened after queen a5. And it turns out queen a5 just drops a pawn. So again, learning a lot from the grandmaster's play. Rook b5, and of course the c pawn and then the queen are on. Queen a3. Although that is an interesting variation. I presume rook c5 is the idea, but it's not. The engine's not liking that. It's saying rook b1. If rook c5, queen c5 is probably the issue. Yeah, it's saying this is pretty much equal after bishop e2, and it seems double Isolani's here, 4 versus 4, 3 versus 2, but objectively the Isolani shouldn't mean too much for black, although white is a pawn up, must be said. So in this position the engine's saying, it's not saying don't take on c5, but just play rook b to b1. Not so convinced myself. What's wrong with rook c to b1? It's just equal. Anyway, maybe it was better than what was played in the game. We'll have to have a look. Let's have a look at what was played in the game. That was the move b6. b6 is played, and now it's white's turn to find a move. Again, a slight advantage according to the engine, although not too much of an advantage. Already only one line is giving a slight advantage, which is a hint about how strong the position really is. And that is bishop g5 harassing the rook. Let's see what white plays. Sorry, I missed white's move there. Oh, bishop b3. Okay, so white voluntarily cedes this diagonal, and as you'll see in the game, what happens is Zong-Yuan Zhao takes quick advantage of this. Bishop a6. Now you would normally think that the bishop would belong on the b7 square here, or even possibly g4, which of course it can't get to because of e6 being played. So bishop a6 seems an unusual place to develop the bishop. After all, it's not protected on the side of the board, but it does bear down upon this knight on e2, and it's not clear what the knight's going to do. White decides now they probably should just play a normal move. Like if I was playing this, I'd be tempted to move the d pawn up, and Houdini gives that equal. The problem, of course, is that this knight is the defender of the d4 square. So the black manages to swap on e2. If black manages to swap on e2, we lose a defender of the center. So we'll only have the bishop and the pawn, and also because the queen's capturing the knight, we lose another defender of the center. So we're going to drop the d pawn. So this is the issue. The issue is that the knight is a key defender of d4, and the bishop's attacking the key defender. As Lasker said, look out for ways of attacking the defenders when you're trying to build up an attack. So white decided in this particular move to move the queen to b2, which looked dodgy. When I saw it, I thought this is not a good move. I thought, bishop e2 is probably good enough. Although, you actually can't win the d4 pawn anyway straight away because of the rook on c1 and the queen on c7. So bishop d3, however, bishop d3 was the move that was played, and this caused, white all sorts of problems, as the engine can see. The second, third, fourth lines are clearly better for black, and the best line is slightly better for white. The issue here now is that for no reason black's allowed an attack on their rook on b1. Sorry, white's allowed black to attack the rook on e1 and the pawn on e4, and this double attack gives black a clear edge, in my opinion. White decided to chop. This was tricky. I thought black could have taken a number of moves. I thought bishop takes b1 was a good move, and I thought they could allow you to capture on b6. It wasn't so good. I actually thought what he played was the best move, bishop takes c5, because it prevented counterplay on the b file. It prevented the intermezzo if bishop takes and pawn takes b6 here. But I don't think maybe it's even too much of a big deal. I just have a quick look if bishop takes. I was expecting white to chop here, yeah, and sure enough, Houdini gives us the best move. And then, yeah, once you take with the a pawn, there's at least a target for white on the b pawn after the rook captures. But black didn't play that. Zong-Yuan Zhao, he just took here on c5. I thought this was a good move. The threat's still on. We're not too worried about losing the c pawn. And what's white going to do? White decided take on c5, which surprisingly is the best move according to the engine. And now black took the exchange. It seems the engine's saying that's not the best. I'd be very, very surprised if most players didn't take the exchange here over the board. It just looks stronger. Now it's saying it is the best. Sometimes you've got to give him a bit of time. That's what he did, and I think it is the best. It just looks good. Rook takes. Now black played the best move again according to the engine, which was queen e5, and this is a great square for the queen. The queen dominates the position and attacks the bishop. So you're actually attacking c3 and attacking e4 at the same time. It's a really strong piece here on e5, and the thing about it is it's not easy to get rid of. You can't play a move like f4 because you'll lose the e pawn. So black has a clear edge. The computer's saying it's already a winning advantage for 6 pawns versus 5. Even though white has the 2 bishops, the weaknesses in the white position are just too much.